So hey everyone, from past few days I got this question a lot of time that sir, I'm having more than 5 years of gap and can I switch to an IT job? Now let's assume in which of the scenario one can have more than 5 years of gap. The very first scenario, from last 2, 3 or 4 years you are preparing for government job and now you have decided you want to do a private job, and that too a very high paying job, that is IT job. That is the first scenario. In the second scenario you can have gap that can be, let's suppose you are already working on some role. Okay, let's suppose in any company you are working on some role, but that job was low paying job. Now you are deciding I want to switch my job, okay, from one role to another role, and you want to upgrade your skill as well. So you are counting your past experience or past role as a gap. In both the scenario, let's assume if you are having more than 5 years of gap. So can you get an IT job or any job on the basis of the skills you are upgrading after 5 years? So yes, you can get it. Now let's discuss the process and why it is difficult or why it is easy. We'll understand both the scenarios. So the very first thing you need to do after having a gap, you need to upgrade your skill. You need to learn a high paying skill. So let's suppose you have learned a high paying skill. Let's suppose a clinical SaaS, this role. You have learned the software as well, the required software. You have gathered the required domain knowledge as well. Now you start looking for a job. Once you start applying for a job, what will happen? The very first thing, out of 100% of companies, 40 to 50% of companies will reject your CV after seeing those 4 to 5 years of gap. Now remaining 30 to 40% of company might respond you. Even in that case, once you will tell the HR, if they haven't seen in your CV that you are having a gap, they might not consider your CV. Now you can have a question, sir, you are telling that one can get a job, and here I am telling a lot of HR will reject your CVs. So how it can be possible? Then how a candidate will get an interview? So you need to understand, once the things are not in your favor, okay, companies will always look for fresh candidate in any of the scenario who got passed out in within 1 year or maximum 2 years in any of the scenario. Let's suppose if you are having a gap, you need to improve 2 things for sure. Your technical knowledge. Your technical knowledge should be very good. Whenever you got an interview, the HR or the company or their employees, hiring managers, they should feel that we have to hire this guy, okay, in our company. Your technical skills should be very good. Second thing, you need to be very consistent. Once you are applying for a job, you need to understand one thing. You should not compare with the freshers or the people who are from IT background or relevant background. If you think your background is not relevant, even if you are having a gap, you should not compare with them. You have to always put more efforts than them. You need to be consistent. And third thing, a lot of time once you start applying for a job, you start comparing with the people who you see on LinkedIn, and you see a lot of people are applying and they are not getting interviews or they are not cracking. Guys, you need to compare with the people who are getting selected. So you have to follow someone what you want to become, right? You don't have to follow that you don't want to become. You don't need to follow them. So you are always comparing with the cohort, those who are not getting selected, and you feel like these guys didn't got selected, so I'll be in the same bucket. You should not, never do this. Fourth thing you need to focus upon, always have a positive outlook. Whenever you are learning any skill, learn without hesitating that even I'll get a job or not. At the time of learning, your whole focus should be on learning only. The second priority is, at the time of applying for a job, your whole focus should be in applying for job part. Okay. The third thing you need to ensure, no matter how much the market is negative, no matter how people are getting selected or not, see, you always need one job only. Once you get entry in this industry, once you got entry on this role, then sky is the limit. All the companies, all the recruiter will call you and they want to hire you. So always remember, you need to crack only one interview. You don't need tons of jobs. You don't need billions of jobs. You don't need billions of companies. You just need one company. And yes, getting that one company is little difficult. If you check out the videos of people who have done it in the past, who have cracked multiple interviews, being a person who belongs from different background, even having a gap. So what they have told in their interviews or broadcast, that they have applied to more than 500 companies or 1000 companies. Then they slowly start getting interviews. Then they slowly got to understand the process. And of course, you need to understand one thing, this process gonna take time. See, companies hire in cycle. Let's suppose if companies are hiring today, okay, or this month, then most probably company gonna train those freshers, right? Those cohort. So once the company will train to them, it will take 4 to 5 months or maybe 6 months as well. So once they will train them, they will put them on project. And then again they're gonna hire freshers. So this cycle of hiring after one batch, it can take up to 4 to 5 months. So you don't need to discourage or demotivate yourself because it is taking 3-4 months of time. It's very obvious. If company have already hired a bunch of candidates, for sure they're gonna give them good training and for sure they're gonna put them on project. Then only they're gonna hire the second cohort. Yeah, there are some sudden openings as well. Let's suppose company have hired a bunch of people, but within them few have left, and because of that they have to do sudden hiring. So sudden hiring can be also possible, but you need to understand this cycle. That's why a lot of people get demotivated that it's been 1 year, it's been 8 months, I'm not getting the job. You need to understand within these 6 months or 8 months how many times interview happened or how many cycles of interview went. If only 1 or 2 cycle of interview happened, then you don't need to worry much. But one thing is that you might ask me this question, sir, you are telling not to worry. If I am giving 7-8 months, why should I not worry? So guys, this is the concept. You don't need to waste your time. Once you learn any high paying skill, don't sit idle. Get a job on the basis of your education first. Don't sit idle. And meanwhile, keep applying for this high paying job. And once you crack this interview, just switch to this job. The only problem is once you are sitting idly, you feel like unemployed. And how I'll get the job? How I'll find the job? It's been 7-8 months. First, the pressure will come from your family. Then the pressure will be built on yourself as well. Okay, by yourself as well. You will feel it's been 8 or 9 months what to do. So the very simple concept is learn a high paying skill. It doesn't matter if you are having a gap or not. Okay, and once you learn that particular skill, get a job. Okay, if you are getting the job on the same role, get a job on that role. Or else if you are not getting the job as SEP on that role, just do one thing, get a job on the basis of your education, whichever job you are getting. And once you get any XYZ job, just keep applying for this job for which you have learned or spent money or time. And finally, I believe once you follow this process smoothly, being positive and being consistent and being improving yourself, okay, always remember, if you are not able to figure out something, then there is a problem. If you are not able to fix the technical thing, it means you need to improve the technical. If you are not getting interviews, it means you need to fix the applying part. If you are not able to communicate properly, it means you need to work on your communication part. If you know this is a problem, you need to figure out the solution and you need to fix it up. Okay, don't sit idle and like why this is happening. You should figure out the reasons why this is not working for you. And guys, at the end, always remember you need only one job. Once you get the entry, then sky is the limit. So guys, that's all in this video. I hope you got some clarity and you can watch a lot of videos I have created for people with gap and fake experience, for clinical SaaS hiring. Even you can connect to me through one-to-one counseling. You can find the links in the description. And thank you everyone, and bye-bye everyone.